First introduced as a concept in 2015 and brought into the mainstream in 2018, the Halo safety device has been a controversial yet necessary change to the open-wheel landscape. While it's aesthetically unpleasing to some, its purpose as an additional protection to a driver's head, the only area of the driver exposed, has already seen potential near misses solved by its introduction. But if we are going to see widespread change, then head protection needs to be implemented across a wide variety of series and not just in Formula 1. Answering the title of this video is rather easy. It already is. Formula 1 is often the yardstick used to determine how other championships develop in the future. And since the Halo's introduction in 2018, we've seen various other championships implement head protection devices to their cars. Joining Formula 1 was the step just below it with the FIA Formula 2 Championship. Formula 2 was already overdue for a new car, and the timing of the Halo's development fell right into place when the Dallara F2 2018 was launched. The next category to follow suit was actually brand new, with the introduction of the FIA's regional F3 regulations. This saw two new championships commence, with the F3 Asia and F3 Americas championships introduced to the world, complete with cars sporting the Halo safety device. Finally, Formula E followed suit with the launch of their new Gen 2 car in December. So in just 1 year, the Halo had actually been implemented by several major championships, as well as becoming the standard for brand new championships. 2019 continued the trend of Halo introduction, with more championships switching over. The biggest of these was Super Formula, which actually added the Halo onto the final designs of their new car for 2019 late into testing after seeing other championships adopt it. Next was the new FIA Formula 3 Championship that replaced GP3, with all 30 cars sporting the device. Elsewhere in Europe, more regional F3 championships were established, starting with the Formula Regional European Championship. This was to replace the old European F3 Championship that had long been a staple in many drivers' careers. Not only that, but the former European F3 Championship's main rival, the Formula Renault Eurocup, also switched to a regional Formula 3 car. And finally, the W Series, a championship created entirely for female drivers in 2019, also runs regional F3 cars, and thus joins the list of championships with a Halo. The first championship we'll talk about will actually use a different device, but fundamentally serves the same purpose as the Halo. North America's IndyCar Championship announced that it will introduce the Aeroscreen device for 2020. The Aeroscreen actually started as a rival proposition to the Halo back in 2016, but due to limited testing, Formula 1 ultimately opted for the Halo. The device featured from 2020 resembles a Halo-like structure on the inside, with a screen surrounding the rest of the cockpit. Moving south of the equator now, and we have the Toyota Racing Series, a winter championship at the F3 level, which will introduce a regional F3 car from January 2020. Finally, we have the two remaining major national F3 championships, with the BRDC F3 Championship in the UK and the All Japan F3 Championship in Japan. Both organisers have commented that they will be moving to a regional F3 car in the very near future, with the Japanese series opting for a brand new car developed by Dome. Regardless of whether these two championships switch in 2020 or 2021, it means that some kind of cockpit protection will be on the cars before too long. Considering all of the previous championships, it's very clear that the move to cockpit protection has been unanimous across the globe, with all of this happening over the course of a few years. However, there are several areas in the feeder series world that lack any kind of head protection. Despite being the first of the 4 steps to Formula 1 to be introduced, Formula 4 will be the last to move to cockpit protection. That said, Formula 4 is in a completely different situation to the other 3 categories. First of all, Formula 4 is not one series. It's a collection of national championships across the globe, with nearly all of them using different combinations of machinery. Secondly, unlike the regional F3 championships, of which there are multiples of as well, many F4 championships have come into existence long before Formula 1 first introduced the Halo in 2018. Lastly, one of the key areas to the Formula 4 regulations was low costs. This is partly the reason why the current homologation of F4 cars has been extended to the end of 2023 from the end of 2019. F4 manufacturers can develop what is called a Halo update kit, but no championships have implemented this so far. So there won't be any brand new F4 cars built with the Halo in mind until at least 2024, but there's still the possibility that current championships will update their cars before that deadline. The other glaring hole has only become one with the introduction of the aeroscreen to IndyCar. This leaves the rest of the road to Indy without any kind of head protection. It is possible that the aeroscreen could be introduced to the rest of the ladder by 2020, but there has been no news as of yet. Arguably, the easiest to implement would be the current Indy Lights car, as its manufacturer, Dallara, also manufactures the current car used in IndyCar. Likewise, both the US F2000 and Indy Pro 2000 cars are based on the same chassis, which itself is based off the current Tatus F4 car. So it might be possible for Tatus to come up with a solution using what could become of a Halo upgrade kit for the F4 cars and implement them into the Road to Indy ladder, but as of right now, we don't know if that is possible. At the end of the day, the Halo and similar devices are already coming to the majority of championships. Sure, there will always be championships using older cars for cost-cutting measures, but even those will eventually end up with machinery featuring these safety devices when the next generation of cars gets handed down. Head protection is here to stay, and despite all of its complaints, it has already proven itself useful. The Halo is not the end-all, and as manufacturers get more comfortable with how it's designed, more streamlined looking cars will pop up, and perhaps make you realise that they look stranger without it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then let me know, and until next time, goodbye.